Welcome to Friday Night Ghost Frights, a series of real, true experiences with the paranormal and the supernatural. Ghost tales that may frighten you in the depths of the night. Some may not believe the things I'm about to describe, but I assure you that everything I'm about to tell you is absolutely true. It is up to you, dear viewer, as to whether you believe me or not. The Samuel Mudd House is notorious for its part in the Abraham Lincoln assassination. Actor John Wilkes Booth, who had shot Abraham Lincoln at Ford's Theater, had jumped out of the balcony and broke his leg, crashing onto the stage below. After getting some supplies at the Surratt House, he and his accomplice David Harold stopped at the house of Dr. Samuel Mudd to tend to Booth's leg. Although they were disguised and Dr. Mudd claimed that he did not recognize the two, it is the boot of John Wilkes Booth that was left under the bed upstairs. That was the key piece of evidence that ended up convicting Dr. Samuel Mudd of being an accomplice to the murder. He was later pardoned for his assistance of the yellow fever outbreak at Fort Jefferson, the prison that he was at, and he lived out the rest of his days at his own home. But now paranormal activity seems to be quite rampant at Dr. Mudd's former home. Phantom footsteps are heard throughout the home. A doll is sometimes thrown across the room in an upstairs bedroom. Occasionally, an apparition of his wife, Frankie, is seen about the house. And even Dr. Mudd has been seen coming down the stairs. I've been to the Samuel Mudd house several times, the first of which was for my research for the book, Ghosts of Maryland. My daughter was with me that time, and while I didn't personally experience anything paranormal while I was there, my daughter did. She mentioned that on several occasions while walking through the house, she felt as if something from the floorboards was pushing up on her foot. This even happened to her outside in the backyard, where it pushed up on her foot again, and it almost made her feel like she was about to fall over. Again, I didn't experience anything that time. However, it was later on when I was starting to do a few things to format the book and put my notes together that I noticed that my pictures that I had taken, my photographs from the day, were suddenly missing. They weren't anywhere on my computer, and they weren't still on the camera. They weren't on any of the memory cards that I had. I have no idea what happened to the photographs that day, but keep note that something troubling happened with an electronic piece of equipment. The third time I was there was for a photo shoot for Prince George's Suite magazine. I was fortunate enough to be featured on the cover for a particular issue. And again, while nothing paranormal seemed to happen to me at the home that time, when I returned home, I'd suddenly discovered that the audio that I had captured for some filming that I was doing while I was there was suddenly missing. Nothing had recorded. I've been to the Mudd House 3 different times now, each with their own strange occurrences. 2 of those times I lost recorded media that I had captured, completely disappearing as if it had never been recorded at all. That includes the filming for this particular episode.
You can clearly see here that I'm mic'd up and have started using the audio recorder. However, that recorded segment has completely disappeared, leaving me with an inaudible track from the camera's small and distant microphone.
Here at the Samuel Mudd House, this house is most notoriously known for one of the locations in which John Wilkes Booth fled after assassinating President Abraham Lincoln.
Although disappointed at first, the loss of my photographs from my first visit actually set up the fantastic tale I've been able to tell about my second visit. My greatest story of the Samuel Mudd House was the second time that I was there, which is why I've saved it for last. And it was because those pictures had gone missing that first time around that I returned there. Unfortunately, when I first arrived, there wasn't anybody there. The front gates were closed. I figured that I would just take a few photographs from the gate and I'd have some exterior shots, at least something to go along with the book. When suddenly a truck pulled up beside me. It was one of the docents, and he told me that the house was closed for the day, but I told him of my plight of the photographs going missing. And what he offered me was that I could come up and take my photographs while he was opening up the house for a private viewing that day. He gave me a short little tour while we were going around and I was snapping off photographs. And I asked him about some of the different things that went on at the house. He told about a reenactment that was done there of Civil War soldiers and how there were candles in the window, electronic candles, that kept coming on. They'd go upstairs, turn them off, they'd come back on. Then they went upstairs and unplugged them, went back outside, and those candles still turned on. I didn't see that day. What I saw that day was as we were going upstairs, continued asking about his experiences. He started telling me the story about an impression that's left in the bed in the room that John Wilkes Booth had slept. It's large enough that it seems to be that form of a human, as if they had just been sleeping there. Well, as we entered the room and he was opening up the shades, I looked down at the bed. And sure enough, there was the impression of somebody's body, as if somebody had just been laying there. Now the docent, he got all upset about it, started going on and on about how they have to keep everything looking nice and neat for the public, and how he was going to be troubled to fix the bed. And he started making a move for the bed. I said, whoa, wait a minute. Can I get a few pictures first? Now, whether or not it's been John Wilkes Booth that's been sleeping in that bed, we'll never know. But it is under that bed in which the boot was found that convicted Dr. Samuel Mudd of conspiring to assassinate President Abraham Lincoln.
Thank you for watching Friday Night Ghost Frights. Please let us know what you think of our new show in the comments below. And if you have not yet, please subscribe. I'm Mike Ricksecker. Until next Friday night.
Okay, that ought to do it.